Hello, everybody. I believe everything is working properly in terms of my audio and video. We'll see how it goes. It's just going to be one of those awesome fly by the seat of my pants days where this is concerned. We'll give it a couple minutes for people to show up, and then we'll get into the meat of the matter, which really I don't have a lot to talk about. Just a few things to show off, a few things to talk about. Pretty brief, realistically. So, see how many people jump in here. As always, if you're already here and you have the ability to go ahead and hit up the pinned Google form. Hit up the pinned Google form in there for your chance to win. Here, it looks weird. We got a couple different pins that we're giving away today, and you want to make sure that you're on the list. Hello, Mr. Lopan. James, good Friday to you as well. The live stream on my end is lagging a lot. So, hello, Anthony, Scott. Like, we're 46 seconds of delay between what is on the broadcast versus what is on the the actual YouTube screen that I'm watching. So it's kind of crazy. Oh, look at these cool little. Can you guys see the cool little badges that you got? Charles, hello. Got like Lopan #1 fan. Anthony #3. Charles Reynoso, #2. Does that show up for you guys, or is it just something I get to see? It's like little crowns, little purple crowns y'all got. That's kind of cool. Apparently there's 2 #3s because Andreas also has it. Hey, Jeremy from Ohio. Hello from Arizona. All right, we're going to get into things here since everybody's here. Since there's a decent amount of you here. Again, if you didn't catch the beginning, please click the pinned link that should show up at the top of the chat and complete the complete that form for your chance to get entered into the giveaway to win one of the pins. All right, cool. Anonymous, dun dun dun, or anonymous. Eric S, hello. I apologize. We were supposed to do the live stream last Friday, but coming back from the summer break kind of threw a wrench into everything. I was trying to get trying to get everything back up and running, get stuff planned out, send stuff out to Cerakote, to anodize, a whole bunch of stuff. So I just dropped the ball on it. And then this week, hello, Amanda. And this week, I literally was like working through the week, and I'm like, and I'm also a week behind. I legitimately thought last week was the first week last Friday was the first Friday of the month, which it wasn't. It was the second Friday of the month. So this week, it felt like, we're not as far into the month as we are, which is my fault. And so on Thursday, I was like scrambling around. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to either do a live stream or cancel a live stream. So I don't have a lot of planned. I'm going to show off a couple of new products. We're going to talk about something that the Pen Club had access to this week and was supposed to go up on the main site on Monday, but will likely be sold out by the end of today or maybe tomorrow. A bunch of you have the wrong. You put the wrong chat name in, Eric. Great. Let me see if I can. It's fine. Whatever. Let me see here. I should just always allow response editing in the forums. That way you can go back in until we're done and change it. Whatever. So yeah, we're gonna go over a couple new product or new-ish different products that are coming out next week. I'm gonna show off a new. I don't know if I showed off this color before. I feel like I did in a live stream. So much stuff totally runs together. So I really apologize for being kind of scatterbrained. Hey, Eric K. Wow, there's so many crowns. Number ones, number twos, number threes. This is very strange. I really wonder how this works. Can I click on it and see? No, it just tells me. It assigns XP to you guys as well. This is crazy. Like it's like some kind of game. like like two people have 75 XP and then a whole bunch of you have 50 and some of you have 25. It's like maybe if you I don't know what you're supposed. Maybe it helps with like sorting. If you're trying to sort commenters into some type of giveaways, I don't know. Who knows? Frequently, Google will roll some crap out and not let us know what any of it is. So, yeah, I don't know what the crown thing is. Eric, I guarantee you, if you comment like 3 more times quickly, you'll then receive a crown. Because to me, it looks like it's based off of number of comments potentially. I honestly don't know. I don't know how it's assigning it to people. I don't know how you get more XP. Let's see what people have now. No, still 75 for E-Rock 369. Oh, this is really funny. It shows me like your... This is crazy. It's so fun. I don't know. Honestly, guys, like this is really... Let's see here. Reactions on timestamps, participants, community moderation. The other weird thing is it shows me your like at assigned like YouTube name as opposed to your like your viewed name. I don't know. It's crazy. I don't know how they do it. Engagement such as comments, super chats, super stickers, and more. Player participates earn their higher XP. So there you go. Like it doesn't explain it to me, but it apparently explains it to you. Every comment seems to increase XP. Silly. We do have ink bottles. We used to have more. I actually need to go through and see how many we have currently. I think there's some that aren't on the website. All right, let's get into things. I apologize. I got distracted by the crowns. It's very, very distracting. So much engagement. It's very true. So much engagement. All right, let's see. Let me switch. Yeah, I don't know if it's every comment. Huh. Interesting. I don't know. It's weird. What does it let me do if I click on your comments? On with the show. Wow, cracking the whip. All right, so I'm showing the stuff on the screen now. We're going to go left. Is that correct? Left to right? Yes, left to right. We're going to go left to right. The light in here kind of sucks, But here's how we're going to go. So the left pen is the dark mode jawbreaker is kind of what we call it. This went out 3 different versions of this pen were made available this week to the Pen Club members. I thought they wouldn't sell out right away. They sold out right away. So the bolt pictured here, the retract, our bolt that we did, those are both sold out. We have like, I think 2 inks left that are still available to Pen Club members. The plan was to have those made. Well, I didn't think they were going to sell out. So the plan was those were going to be made available on the regular site on Monday. But because they sold out so quickly, we're going to have to do a second batch. We're definitely going to do a second batch of those. Some of them will be these same versions, but a lot of them will be other versions of either the bolt. We didn't do any modals this round, so I'll have to send out some modals probably for it. Some EDKs, probably some vertexes too. This color just looks really cool. Reminds me, like I said in the email to the Pen Club members, it reminds me of those like blacklight posters that you could get at like Spencer's in the mall. Because the colors just kind of pop. They're not, I don't think they're blacklight reactive because the paint's not, it's all still Cerakote. So I don't think it's going to react under blacklight. You can try it and tell me if it does. I don't have access to a blacklight because I'm no longer a wayward teenager. So we are going to do more of those. If you are a Pen Club member and you missed out on these, some of the new ones will be made available to Pen Club members early again. We'll probably do like a 2-phase release. I don't know how we're going to do it. Our Cerakote applicator is on vacation, so I can't even ask him about it. So it was just kind of a collaboration between us. This process is much more time consuming for him to do the splatter process, specifically on the black. So they are more expensive. We're limiting the availability. We're not allowing coupon codes to be used on them. They just cost too much money for us to get them done, which probably will limit the popularity of them, and we won't make as many of them available as we would have for like a regular standard color. The one right next to that is just a regular modal, dragon skin modal with the standard jawbreaker look. I had a bunch of people ask me if we were going to do jawbreaker modals. This is going to be the release. It doesn't have a white clip. Somebody said white clip. It's hard to see. The light in here is really bad. I don't know if I think my overhead LED lights need to be changed out because they're looking kind of dingy, or they need to be cleaned or something. It's an aluminum clip and an aluminum knob. So it looks pretty similar to the other releases we've done of these. So that's kind of why we went with this versus a different color. So that will be available next week, probably on Monday or Tuesday. Depends on when I get the photos back. I don't know that there is, Brian. I'm not sure. There's so much. Cerakote makes is pretty transparent about their products. So on the individual pages of each product, there's a huge breakdown of the specifications of the Cerakote itself. It talks about gloss and hardness and reflectivity and all that stuff. I've never specifically looked for UV on there, but it's possible it's on there. You could look. A white clip would be cool. A white clip would just even more dramatically increase the price. And we're trying to keep them. as low as possible. Had a bunch of people ask for, we've done multiple different versions of the black cherry, which is the third pen. We haven't done, have not done inks. I don't think we did vertexes either. Maybe we did a very small amount of them. So I went ahead and did some inks. We've actually had these for a while, but I didn't have clips for them. So we have a small batch of these that are going to go up on the website next week. Probably, well, got to get the rest of the clips in. Probably Friday for the Cerakote, for the black cherry Cerakote inks, by next Friday. If you've been looking for that to match your other black cherry, or just in general, if you like the color. I think it's a really cool color. I'm not a big fan of purple normally, but the black cherry looks really nice. It's not super shiny. It has almost like a satin finish on it, and it feels really good. It reminds me of the original turquoise stuff that we had, that it kind of almost had a grippiness to the surface of it that you could feel. This has a similar, if you haven't purchased one of the previous black cherry pens. Really nice. I like it. Not that I'm going to add it to my collection anytime soon, but I think it's really cool. The last one is actually not just anodized aluminum, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to show this off any better. I'm going to try to potentially zoom in on it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. All right, so let's move that out of the way. Maybe. Okay, so this is another one of the FX series Cerakote colors. I'm trying to think which ones we've done so far. So we did Mardi Gras on white, which was that mother of pearl color. And then we did some Mardi Gras render Ks. And then I've teased some other pens in other colors, like the Blaze Vertex, which is a red with a bunch of sparkle. This is called Typhoon. It is the FX series. So basically, it's a really interesting process. The pen is coated in black, the same black that's used. So the same base black that's used on the dark mode, which I think is armor black. It's a completely matte black. Is then has a mixture. It's just basically, it's suspended. It's all particulate, so it's all a metallic particulate that's suspended in clear. That is blue. So all of that color comes from the metal flake that's laid over the black, and then a final coat of clear coat sprayed over the top of it. So I don't know how the reflection in here makes it so impossible to really show off. So I'm not going to mess with it anymore. It's a super cool color. I'm hesitant on adding more blues to the mix because we have so many of them. Blue is just a popular color in every different facet. But this one's so different than a lot of the other ones. It reminds me of like plastic pens and the shininess. So I think this is one that we're going to add. Actually, I know this is one that we're going to add down the road along with the red, the Blaze. That's nonsense. Sorry. I'm trying to find your answer about the weight, but not. I don't know. They're not going to, they're actually, I can just get, how about we do this? I'll just do a zoom out a little bit. Move this out of the way. Oh, I'm messing around with stuff. See? There you go. There's your answer, senor. So, Retro, there's the answer to your question. It's going to be the same regardless of, or really, really close to the same weight as just a base aluminum pen. So what does it say? 31 grams, right? Am I reading that correctly? Yeah. If they, Brian, if they had a shimmery green, I would use a shimmery green, but they don't. Not currently, anyway. Not a nice one. As I thought, I bet you that weight for the what the AI is telling you is probably closer to the resin one. So, okay. Let's see here. Yeah, because there's not a converter in this orange one that I have on there. It's also going to depend on the resin. Some resins do have a different weight than other resins. I did not think that was really possible, but it is. Okay, so I'll have. That's kind of going to be the next step with some of our. With quite a few of our Vertex pens is going to be the use of some of those shinier, some of that shiny Cerakote on them. Boy, I cannot think today. Just to kind of, it looks very similar to resin as opposed to paint or anodize. Looks cool, lets us do some stuff. I'm having our Cerakote applicator kind of mess around with a few things in terms of like what the base on it, trying different colors of the base as opposed to the black. So I'm curious to know how it sprays on white and a different blue color or a pink. So we're going to mess around with different things to see what it shows up, and him varying the amount of metal, like metallic, that's in the initial coat to try to get a different color scheme, to try to get us like something that looks relatively unique and isn't just like shiny paint, a metallic paint or something like that. Let's see, how durable is the shimmer coat? I'm not really sure what I would say. It's based off the limited use that we've put them through. It's pretty close to the same durability as just a standard Cerakote. So pretty durable. I would. You're not going to scratch it off with like your fingernail. It's going to dent. It's going to scratch if it's against more other metal. So this is another color, another metallic color. UV reactive coating paracrite green, which is one of the greens that's on, which is the green that's on the black pen. So this is another FX series shiny Cerakote. It's called copper. Doesn't look anything like copper. Definitely looks like a metallic orange. We tested it on the basic 3, which is what this is. We have a few of these test pieces available, or that'll probably go to Pen Club members. This color is also going to be added to some of our fountain pens first. Orange just is a pretty decent seller, I think. So here's the color next to the Hunter Orange. So you can kind of see the different. There we go. This will be a better. So those are 3 different oranges, or what I would say is an orange in terms of the colors that we get from Cerakote. So this is Hunter Orange, Burnt Orange, and then this is technically called Copper. I don't think it looks like copper at all, but you know, it's difficult to get a copper color with paint of any kind. So this is just one of the versions of copper they have on their website. Anyway, so that's going to be another color that we're going to have available on some pens moving forward, probably on fountain pens first. It's really easy for us to do. We have fresh vertexes. One of the reasons that we're doing some vertexes right now is I have fresh ones off the machine. I don't have to, excuse me. I don't have to have those anodized clear. Like any of the pens that thread together have to have a clear coat of anodized on them before we send them to Cerakote. Whereas pens like the Vertex and the Basic don't have to have a clear anodize added to them before. Basically, the reason we use clear anodize on the pens that thread together is so it protects the threads, because the pens have to be sandblasted. Even the raw pens have to be sandblasted so the Cerakote sticks to it. And any pens that thread together, it's just almost impossible to get the sand out of the threads, and the pens will basically lock together. So, so yeah, so it's easier for me to get, it's fewer steps for me to get pens done in Cerakote if I don't have to thread them together. So currently that is an option, is something that we can do easily on the Vertex. Basically is the only pen besides the Basic, but we're really not trying to do much on the Basic. These small amounts that I have done are more to, it's very easy for me to send Basics over to our Cerakote, be like, hey, I want to test a color. Here's some pens. Cause they're single piece, and then we can sell them. And he doesn't have to try to color match a cap and a body real close like these two. Like this, if the color is one that we don't end up liking, or there's no real variance, I can just kind of get rid of the Basics at a pen show or something. So, anyway, so that's kind of the update that I have right now in terms of production schedule. We are actively machining resin Vertexes, a huge batch. I think 10 to 15 new colors, new materials. I think we're doing all the caps first, and then breaking the machine down, tooling up for bodies, and then we'll do all the bodies next. So I would imagine that it will be sometime in the fall when those are done, but it's a huge batch of vertexes. So a lot of vertexes, because then we'll have to go through and hand polish, and we'll just pull out one, you know. Haven't had new vertexes in a long time, but that's going to be fun. Hey, Brady, any new speedsters? So speedster update. So that's a good time for us to segue into questions. If you have questions, go ahead and throw them in the chat. I'll get to them as I see them. So James asks, any new speedsters coming out? I don't have a lot of speedsters left. I think I have enough for 2 batches. I think we're going to do a red and maybe some of these new colors, the shiny colors, because they look cool. Like they're kind of like auto paint, like the FX series. So we'll probably do a couple small batches of those. Probably like 10 to 20 of each one. So probably have enough speedsters to do, because the red ones are already done. I probably have enough to do 3 colors, to do between 15 and 20 cars in 3 colors. So we'll have to see how that goes. I don't know. They're kind of down the list. It takes, just because it takes a while for him to do. It takes much longer for him to do the speedsters than it does the pens. So, yeah. That's that one. But we do have some. And then your second question was, what is the next basic? So the next basic is, sorry, I'm looking something up real quick. Wow. The next basic. I'm looking at my calendar. I'm scrolling through my calendar. Give me a sec. Should be somewhere between the 4th and the 11th. So basic number 5 is going to be somewhere between the 4th and the 11th. It just depends on, I'm trying to think what I need. I need them finished, cleaned, and then assembled. And then I need photos of them. So I have a couple teaser photos, but I don't have the full set of photos. So hopefully around the 4th, maybe a little bit closer, a little bit further into the month of August. But I'm not sure. I'll probably have, we'll probably end up teasing it around the 1st, I would imagine. I'll have some teaser images of the basic around the 1st or the end of the month, after we ship out all the subscribers pens. So I don't have a number 5 even available to show off. Weirdly enough, I have number 6s, but I'm not going to show those off yet. We did them out of order. Like the number 6s were supposed to be the number 5s, and then they're done. And I was like, I don't want to release this as number 5. Let's push this one back. Let's do it a little bit later. Give me a different one for number 5. So I have number 6s not in here with me. We have number 6s done, but you're gonna have to wait. You're gonna have to wait. I have Darth Modalist. The Darth Modalist should make before the end of the month. I got all the parts out. I got another set of clips out at the anodizer right now, and they should be back probably next week. So if you were looking for the Darth Modalist, you'll see that again before the end of July. Have you tested the pen with an acrylic coating without a seal coat? Are you talking like acrylic in terms of like paint? Just to clarify, James, I don't know, like tested a pen with an acrylic coat without a seal coat. Like acrylic paint? The only low, okay, so I'm gonna skip around. Low pen is saying I've gotten into lathe turning. Are there any fountain pen kits that actually write well? I don't know the answer to that one because it really depends on the nib unit, or if you can swap them out for an aftermarket, like even an aftermarket in the sense of like getting a Schmidt nib put on it as opposed to using like whatever brand they put on there. So acrylic paint only. We have, okay, so yes, we have tested acrylic paint pens. I'll come back to the question that you have, Lopan. Let me answer the one about the acrylic coating. So we have tested regular acrylic paint without a coating. It will wear out just from being put in and out of your pocket if you carry it in a pair of jeans. Like it will wear off in a matter of, if you use it every single day, twice a day, it'll start to wear off the tip. Like up here, it's going to start to wear off here on putting it, even if it's not rubbing against metal, just the friction going in and out of a pair of jeans, it's going to wear off probably like a month or two of regular carry. And a standard clear coat that's not like the Cerakote clear coats will start to wear off too. Because Cerakote's products are heat annealed ceramic coatings, they're far more durable than than traditional acrylic paints. So in terms of like your question, Lopan, about like the kits, it really depends on how easily you can swap out the nib for a nib that works well. Even if it's just like pulling the nib and feed and putting in like Schmidt number 5, because a lot of them are number 5 nibs, I think, or like a Bach 060 or 076. So if you can swap those out, your kit pen will write a lot nicer. It's just going to look like another, it's just going to look like kind of another kit pen off the top of the shelf. I don't know how little, like how much extra tooling you need or how little extra tooling you need. However, there is a company in Arizona called the Turner's Warehouse, not the Turner's Workshop. That's the one in the UK. The Turner's Warehouse. The guy that owns that is super, super helpful. And if anybody would know what you need to start making your own based off of what you currently have, it would be him. And so you could probably reach out to them and ask them. Turner's Warehouse I think they're in like Chandler, Arizona, or maybe even in Mesa. They're not that far from our shop. So you could potentially reach out to him via email, look at their website, and get some information from him. We might sell some raw speedsters. That is a possibility, simply because we've sold them in the past. So it's the potential's there for us to sell them again. I don't know. Maybe a small batch of raw ones. Brian, I don't think we'll ever do that again. And that process for that, it looks and feels really cool. That matte olive does. It's the coolest olive that we've done. But that was so expensive for us to do, so labor intensive for us to do those pens. They were sandblasted, and then we had to hand finish them before before we sent them out to anodize because there were problems. They're not problems. It was just non-uniform parts on the sandblast and in certain areas. And then when we got them back from anodize, we had to hand ream them and deburr them, which is why they're nearly as expensive. They really need to be, like, honestly, we basically price them with no additional like margin in them. So they're like $20 more expensive than a standard basic, or yeah, $20 more expensive than a standard basic. And that's basically how much it costs, like the cost of the sandblast, because we don't have our own sandblast, we have to outsource that. So the cost per piece for sandblast, the cost for anodized per piece, and then all of the manual handwork that we had to do, basically puts an extra $20 in that pen. It's nearly cheaper for us to make that pen. Like I don't think we made any money on those really, but we wanted to fix them, and that was the only way to fix those pens. So I don't think that we'll do that colorway again, because the reason that it looks that way and feels that way is because it was sandblasted first. And that just adds a lot of handwork that we have to do afterwards to make sure everything functions correctly. There's no way to like really automated, and there's no automated way to clean the sand out of the pens. All right, so yeah, they're not very specific. Yeah, you can get taps and dies for Bach units pretty easily. Like realistically, we bought taps and dies for the Bach nibs from a pen kit website when we switched to Bach 10 years ago or something. A retractable fountain pen from us is not going to happen in the short term. Like, we just don't have... We don't have the capability to do that, and we don't have the connections that it requires to solve the nib unit, the custom nib unit that's in those pens. So if you're not a fountain pen person, retractable fountain pens are not a very they're very rare. And so the major one is the Pilot Vanishing Point. And then there have been recently some plastic versions made by other companies that use a unit that is basically a reverse engineered Pilot nib unit and system, door close mechanism, the whole 9 yards. In recent years, Inzo has made a bolt. They call it the bolt, which we contacted them and asked them. We didn't demand that they not use that word, but we asked them not to, because we'd been using that term specifically for a pen for some time. But because it's kind of in the general, it's just a description really that we turned into a name. So Having said that, like they have uh, access to external manufacturing that really allowed them to make those nib units. I'm not sure where that is, whether it's in Mexico. I think a long time ago they had some stuff made in Mexico, or if it's overseas, where it's just not something that we could do without. Like, we partner with a nib manufacturer because we don't have the ability to make nibs ourselves in-house. It's a process that is so far outside of machining that it requires a specific setup. So the parts that are made for those nib units, all of them, regardless of which one you're talking about, every single one, like if you're talking about the VP, if you're talking about the Platinum, if you're talking about the Jinhao, if you're talking about any of the ones that use a nib unit that's very similar looking, they're multi-step processes that involve injection molding, metal forming in I think stamping, and in I forget what the terminology is, but basically it's like where you extrude metal in a specific shape. So there's multiple steps like that require very specific processes that we just don't have. If you were to go to machine that same piece, like someone like Ian Sean does with his nibs, there's a reason that his nibs are $400. Not just because he's using, premium materials. He's machining a nib that's normally stamped. The stamping process is quick, can be done over and over and over very fast. When you're machining titanium, and the machining, I think he uses Ultim for his feeds, that is an extremely time consuming and precise process. So the cost for his nibs is legitimately, or however they much are, 200, 300, 400. Like, the cost is very much demanded from that type of product. So we just don't have the ability to do something like that. If in the future there is a product available that we can purchase from a third party like Bach or Yovo or any of them, that is like a unit like that, that we could put into a pen that we would design as a retractable pen, a fountain pen, we would absolutely consider it and start the prototyping process. But it's just not something that we can do without something off the shelf, because we don't have the partnerships available to us where we work with, because we are producing most of or much of our product via overseas manufacturer or just external manufacturing in general. Like, we if anything, we're moving more and more of our production internal, as opposed to using external sources to produce stuff for us. Anyway, okay. Sorry, I got off on a tangent there. Okay. Any last questions? If not, please fill out the form. Fill out the form that's pinned at the top, so you can be entered to win. I'm actually not familiar with those pens, the Stipula pen, like the Stipula retractable pens. Looking at them very quickly. It looks like the iris is retractable, but also has a cap, which seems really bizarre to me. But interesting. No, it has a yes, maybe. Yeah, it looks like it has a cap. Oh, the G live stream. I'm not sure when she's going to be doing another live stream. So that was the other thing I was going to talk about. We're going to be at the end of this month, which goes into the beginning of August, is the DC Pen Show. So she's gearing up to do that. And then at the end of August, she's going to be at the San Francisco Pen Show. And then she's going to be at the Dallas Pen Show in September. I would imagine I would think that after the Dallas Pen Show, between Dallas and well, maybe even between San Francisco and Dallas, she might do a QVC, KVC, blah. If not, then likely do one between Dallas and Colorado. But I would imagine it would be somewhere between those. So it's not gonna be next month, and it will likely not be this month either. Part of the reason is that we don't have a lot of stuff currently to kind of sell through that method. But after whatever we don't sell between DC and San Francisco, we could probably do a QVC before Dallas and Colorado. So yeah, excuse me, sorry guys. All right. All right. Everybody has completed the sign-up sheet. Yes, no, the drawing. If you haven't, fill it out. If you have not filled out the giveaway, it's pinned at the top of the page. Please do that quickly, and then we'll go ahead and run the giveaway before we wrap up. Oh, my back hurts. We've looked at. I mean, we have looked at doing like a safety pin style, like twist knob that exposes the nib. There aren't very many of them on the market. I'm not sure what kind of market there is for that style of retractable pen. But it's something that we've looked at even recently. Bill and I are, one of our things that we sit down and talk about frequently is kind of like the fountain pen specific planning in terms of the next one or two fountain pens that we're going to attempt to manufacture and release. And alternative filling methods, as well as like alternative capping methods, is something that we're looking into. So, all right, everybody says they've done it, so I'm going to go ahead and start working on the giveaway sheet. Oh boy. Come on. Okay, weird. talk amongst yourselves. Just kidding. 3D printer Parker style adapter space for the basics. You know, a lot of people have actually done something similar to that to adapt their the basic to a Parker style. I'm really confused. It confuses me because the Parker style pins that we carry are not very popular. But our G2 pens are that Karis Penco carries. But people complain about them because they deploy in the pocket and like everything wicks away. So we made that pen. We made the basic around the G2 because it's the most popular refill, but also because like it's not going to come out on accident and wick away all over your leg. And then we have all these people that are asking us for for the Parker style version, and I'm like, I don't understand. I just don't get it. I'm confused. I think by the resurgence of popularity of the Parker style refill. I just don't, for the life of me, understand. But that's okay. That's okay. You guys can like what you like, and that's absolutely 100% valid. I don't want to detract from that at all. So, all right. So winners. Here we go. The winners. Winner number 1. So first place winner. First place winner is Brady Tomberlin. Brady Tomberlin, you are winner number 1 for the copper and black hive modal. Winner number 2, Nathan Kelso, brass hive modal. All right, so you 2 winners, please email your shipping information to Paul at Karis Penco. That way I can get your prize mailed out to you. Next week. Okay, so let's see, what else? I feel like no Zerk. We're not talking about Zerk. Zerk is in permanent prison. We've locked them up. Zerk is unavailable at this time or ever. I guess I do need to like circle back with Bill about like the Parker style version of the basic that we have kind of like worked on internally and see where that's out. So we have a lot of jobs right now. That's taking up a lot of our time. So one of the reasons we don't have cubes and haven't had them for a long time is that all of our mills the mill time has been taken up by other external work. So if you've been looking for a cube, it's going to be even longer. I'm not sure. I was hoping to have some available before the holidays this year. I don't know. I don't know if we'll even have them available for the holidays, the amount of external work that we have going on. So any last minute questions or concerns or anything like that? Don't want to leave anybody hanging. Hopefully I will be much more prepared for next month. For our next month live stream, it's going to be between the DC and San Francisco pen shows. So I'll probably do a wrap up, like a recap about DC. Hopefully have some of the new Vertex, if not the whole bodies, at least some of the caps to show off. Otherwise, that's going to be about it. Sorry, Michael. You can watch the replay. I apologize. 3-4. What the shiny black anodized that has a slight iridescent sheen to it. I don't know why people like Zerk. It's extremely expensive, and it burns down machines, or it has the possibility of burning down machines. All right, everybody. Thanks. Congrats to the winners. Please email me at paul@karascustoms.com so I can get your prizes out to you. Otherwise, we'll talk to you next time. If you have any questions after this, you can always email those to me as well. Have a very fun and safe Friday and weekend, and we'll see you next month at the right time. The second Friday of the next month. Promise. We're going to do it that day. I'm not going to forget. I put it in my calendar, give myself a reminder. So see you, everybody. Bye.